streaming platform. Stream only on Myco.
Fastest growing video streaming platform.
Matt Henry's been superb for New Zealand. Absolutely has been wonderful. The two sides alongside each other. Zimbabwe, if you're joining us for the first time, won the toss and decided to bat first. But just on Matt Henry. In the last 24 months, I beg your pardon, last 12 months, he has been phenomenal. He's picked up 48 wickets at an average of 18.58. The only other bowler better than him is Jasprit Bumrah, who's averaging at 14.92. There's the fish, there's the feel.
That's the patience that New Zealand will want to test of this top order. Ball just nipping away. No good when you start fishing that wide, especially with the lack of foot movement.
That's a nice looking shot. That's a nice positive shot. That'll give Curran some confidence. He'll pick up 2 there.
Yeah, that was nicely played. Didn't try and overhit the ball, which is the key for those on drives. Into a good position, Matt Henry. Just trying to straighten the line up a little. That's the one thing you do see as well when you make that transition from T20s to test matches quickly. The disciplines of sitting there line and length. Take some time to get back into your game.
You know, I just rattled off how good Matt Henry has been in the last 12 months, averaging 18 with the ball. What makes him so good is that he can make adjustments. Look at how short that length is on that occasion. Looks pretty, looks fantastic. Again beats him, and then finally pushes the one right up to find the outside edge.
Yeah, that's that sharp bounce. Yeah, I think that's something Will O'Rourke can learn from as well. He's bowled a lot of pretty deliveries where they fly through to the keeper, but really they're just a fraction too short. That's the ball jagging back. He's got it on a string at the moment, Matt Henry. And this is the sort of wicket where you'd have to force yourself to bowl fuller. Bring the batsman onto the drive, test the footwork. And Henry's got it going nicely so far.
You just look at how Bennett just shouldered arms. He says, I can see it. I don't need to play it. Next one, same thing, the next one. And then these quality world-class bowlers, their decision-making and their adjustments are so fluid that he pitches it up there and nips one out for the team. On that occasion, slightly shorter. End the over, 14 for 1. Captains to lead New Zealand in all 3 formats. Fleming, Vettori, Taylor, McCullum, Williamson, Latham, Southey, now Mitch Santner. What a proud moment.
That's one of those pretty deliveries again, wasn't it? It looks really good. Just needs to be a little fuller, a little straighter. But yeah, you're quite right. First test match as coach for Rob Walter. for New Zealand in this game. First test as captain for Mitch Santner. Fun fact, which you may or may not care about, he went to the factory, his school, Hamilton Boys High School. They just keep churning out breeding excellence.
What school did you go to?
That's nicely played. The factory.
Teed that up nicely, eh, Scotty, didn't you? What is it then about Hamilton? What is it that they produce all these wonderful cricketers? What is it about? Is it the water?
I think you're right with the water, the river. But yeah, just focus on Will O'Rourke's length. That's the thing. There's a lot of balls going through to the keeper, but not really testing the batsman. That with the movement, if he can get maybe a little, only a foot fuller, I think that's perfect. The tough part is when you're 6'6" and your natural length is to bang the ball in. Often tall bowlers, when they do try and force the ball up fuller, it almost floats at you, and it doesn't have that same zip. It's not a natural length for the tall guys.
I think someone who he could really learn from, I know Jacob Oram is the bowling coach, but watching clips of Morne Morkel over the years, how he became such a handful in England, in fact all over the world, by just going that little bit fuller and trusting the height and the delivery into the surface and getting what you want out of it.
And with the movement we've seen, I would actually probably spell Will O'Rourke after this over and go to Nathan Smith, because he is one of those slightly shorter bowlers. Natural length is a lot fuller. He will entice batsmen to drive, which I think is what you're looking for on this particular pitch at the moment. Bring that slip cord into play, and then someone like Will O'Rourke can just come over the back of Matt Henry when his spell is over.
Oh, too much. Too much. Well, for trampoline, that missed everything. For wides.
That's one as well. That's one.
I think I'll agree with you. I think with the conditions that are available right now, you probably want to go with someone who's going to challenge the stumps and the outside edge.
Yeah, and sometimes a little quick burst like this allows you to just catch your breath, step back, and restart as well, change ends potentially. There's a few things. It allows you just to take stock and restart.
I think he's listening to us. That's a better line and length. Better, fuller.
Do you reckon wides and buys should count as batters runs?
Yeah, spot on, isn't it? That just jags a little more. That off stump is looking threatening. He also has been a very good performer for New Zealand. He's come in on the back of the trio that have been around for what seemed like forever. Bolt, Southend, Wagner, now Matt Henry, Will O'Rourke, and there's another couple of young bowlers waiting in the wings as well.
Gone short again. 6 gone, 24. Henry has picked up the wicket. He's looked quite challenging off that fuller length. Also getting the ball to move both ways.
And that's a good leave too. I think we saw him sort of have that wild swish at a ball in the last over from Matt Henry. When he got wider this time, he's just able to rein himself in. Yeah, it's well played. Still, I'd like to see him maybe cover the off stump a little more, get across. We talked about it. In fact, he gets on the side of the ball rather than in behind the ball. That has a lot of merits in white ball cricket when you're able to cut the ball away. Test matches. That is a beautiful shot. Too short, set up and punished away.
Yeah, nicely played. He tried it in the previous over. Got himself into a little bit of a muddle, but this time, just look at the length and the way it creates a little bit of space for him through the offside, that he's able to just swat it through the onside. So he'll pick up a boundary there. Will Ben Curran.
Yeah, good comeback. Even with the pull shot, not a lot of foot movement from Ben Curran. And so you can tell he's looking for it. It's 2 or 3 occasions he's looked for that short delivery. And because he doesn't move his feet a great deal, that's why that fuller ball is the one. Matt Henry straight on it after the boundary.
What is this one? Sorry, what do you want me to do? This is 2-0. Thank you.
Change of angle, yeah. It's going to come round. We're just talking about how fantastic he has been in the last 12 months. And I'm just so blown away by his adjustments and how he just becomes better as he continues in all conditions.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy, well, last 2 years for the World Test Championship cycle for Matt Henry in New Zealand. They had Australia away, it was India away, England at home, and Sri Lanka away. So there are a lot of tough teams to beat. Bangladesh, I think, were in there as well. So for him to have those numbers, averaging 18.
And there he goes again. In all conditions. I mentioned just before this ball was bowled how good he is at adapting and being fluid in his changes, in his lines and his lengths. And yet another reward.
Yeah, it's brilliant from Matt Henry. No problems on the front foot. And it's the footwork again. Nothing. Loses control. Back leg comes round. Another edge that goes a little wider. New Zealand very good in the slips so far this morning. Curran departs for 13, 24 for 2.
Yeah, Zimbabwe have lost 2, brings Sean Williams to the crease in at 4. They've lost 2 inside 30 minutes. But Sean Williams, he's had a purple patch to remember.
Yeah, Zimbabwe's best batsman, no question about it. It's an outstanding record. The 8 600s is at an average of 48. And this will be a good battle. Henry at the top of his game. Another left-hander to attack.
The adjustment to come around.
Just worked him over a little bit, didn't he? You can tell by the way that back leg came around that he'd lost the balance, that change of angle you talked about, the adjustment that Matt Henry had made. And Another very good catch from Will Young in the slip cordon.
Notice the fuller deliveries, even though they find the edge, are going to third slip. Is that another one? Ooh, just dropped short. Excellent over for New Zealand and Matt Henry. It's 24 for 2.
.24 for 2. And it's been a challenging opening half hour, well, 35 minutes now for Zimbabwe, who elected to bat first. The two openers, Brian Bennett and Ben Curran, rekindling their opening partnership for the first time since Zimbabwe played in Bangladesh. Had a good working out. Now that's the last ball of the previous over. He has a tendency to play with these low hands, Sean Williams, especially early on in his innings. But the pace on offer and the bounce that we've seen, he's just got to ensure that he plays with his hands higher. Leg buys will be signalled. Very good morning, Sikandar Bakht.
Good morning, Tino Moyo. Good morning, everyone. It's a brand new series against New Zealand, and what a positive way to elect to bat first. Something that we spoke about in the test matches against South Africa. There was an opportunity where Zimbabwe won the toss. They could have elected to bat, but they went on a defense and then ended up facing a huge total ahead of them in first innings. But here, this looks like a more solid 11 for this test match, and they've elected to bat. So that positive part of saying, yeah, we will come out and bat first is good. Yes, they have lost 2 wickets. Fair enough. Ooh. Just got himself in an odd position there. Took his eyes off at the last moment, Sean Williams.
These are the 2 wickets that have fallen. Stuck on the crease a number of times, Brian Bennett, that one taking the outside edge, and then Ben Curran. Just not getting that front foot going far enough and just pushing the hands out, and that's why he's got the outside edge. But Matt Henry has been very good this morning, following on from his T20 International Tri-Series exploits in Harare, player of the series, most wickets, 10.
You speak of Matt Henry and his performance in the last World Test Championship cycle. Most wickets for New Zealand. Right up there. 48 to his name. Average. Everything just shows the class that he has. And then you've got a few more. Santner won't miss out in that list. Such an integral part. Of course, he's the captain, but that spin department across formats. Yeah, you speak of Sean. We saw him in that test series against South Africa. He probably was the only mainstay in that batting lineup, but the way he batted, so positive, almost having a strike rate of 100, looking to go after the bowling, and it worked for him. He used to get those 60s and 70s in just no time. All he missed in that series was a partner out there to spend some time out there and play the sessions out. Surely we spoke about the 11 that they've chosen for this game. We'll talk about the 11 after the over. .25 for 2.
Good job, War. So good, Fields. Just going to be easy.
Yeah, here's the Zimbabwe 11 for this particular match, and of course Curran coming back, that strengthens the opening slot for them along with Brian Bennett. Welch will be their first choice at number 3. Then Williams in form, has been playing for Zim for such a long time and has been a prolific scorer. Irvin the captain, then Raza comes in, that further strengthens the batting. Seager, the wicket-keeper batter. Now that is something we can talk about and discuss. And then the bowlers, good to see. We'll just have a quick look at that again. With the bowlers, Blessing Muzarabani is back. Of course, Ingarava is not in the squad, so Nemuri, that's a good choice. Masakesa's spin, and then Chivanga was so disciplined and good in his bowling against South Africa. The other option in place of Seager as a keeper could be Clive Madande. I'll leave that choice to you, but this looks like a good 11.
Yeah, we'll come to Clive Madande. I'm very happy to see Nyamuri in that playing 11. Got an opportunity against Afghanistan at the back end of last year. Here at Queens and Blawayo, and then we haven't seen him. And then Matigimu came in that second test against South Africa and had that one and leapfrogged him, should I say, because Nyamuri had been there before. But I thought he was a better option because he's had a taste of test cricket and he's a left armer as well. After having not put in some bad performances when he got the opportunity. So I thought it was a great time for him to be able to learn, and I'm happy to see him back in that playing 11. Without Ngarava, he gives you that extra option of left arm. Some good pace on him as well. Coming to Madande, he got an opportunity in just the one test match, and that was against Ireland and Belfast last year, and he had a tough time of it. So yeah, if Seager falls out of favour, he's in the squad and next in line. Nicely struck.
Yeah, but I hear that Seager's coming on the back of a good domestic season with the bat. So surely he deserves more outings. Couldn't really get much going for himself against South Africa. But if you look at the trend and you talk about wicketkeeper batters, usually sides that are choosing wicketkeepers are top order batters. You don't leave out a wicketkeeper like back in the day, somebody who's just a specialist wicketkeeper. You need him to be a good batter. So usually the current wicketkeepers don't bat 7, 8. And that's been the case for the longest time now. You can name quite a few. Yeah, down the leg side. When you go back a decade, you use Adam Gilchrist, Sangakkara. You have
you can add Andy Flower to your list. I thought you were going to say it.
Ooh. Yeah, if you go back to your era, yes, we can go to Andy Flower. We have more names coming up, and we'll talk more on that. This is 27 for 2.
Right time around.
He's sitting out there. What's his name? Batting coach. 27 for 2. Nathan Smith now being brought into the attack. Early days in Test match cricket. And he's been given the opportunity in the 11. Yeah, coming back to wicketkeeper batters, and usually the case being chosen that they are top order batters, and Quinton de Kock was one of them. And then I already named Sangakkara and Gilchrist. Gilchrist used to bat down the order in test matches, yes. There's somebody there in the New Zealand dressing room, Luke Ronke, their batting coach. It's not the first time he's just suddenly been surprised by that bounce. Stood his ground, yes. He just tends to take his eyes off. Luke Ronke is somewhere in there. Who's with the New Zealand support staff now, the batting coach. Wicketkeeper bat him as an opener.
Wide!
Yeah, there's been a deliberate ploy from the New Zealand seamers to, when there's an opportunity, get that short ball into the Zimbabwean batters. And if you look at the sequence of events, that is what brought about the downfall of Ben Curran. You'll be aware, obviously, that he had an issue with that hand, and yes, you're back in the nets and whatever, but it's always in the back of your mind, especially when you're out in the middle and you're now competing at the highest level. So they roughed him up with a few of those. And then the change of angle, pitched the ball up, Matt Henry, and stuck on the crease. So good tactics.
Yeah, you speak of the back of the mind. It's such an ugly zone to be in. I don't know. Only if there was a way to leave the back of your mind at home. You talk about anybody hit for a concussion and then plays in the back of your mind. Or any injury that you have and you're just worrying that you don't want to further aggravate that or have that injury again. And you've seen certain cases who've gone into a mental block. They've never been the same after being hit badly. And some of them just take you head on. Dion Abraham on the right, Zimbabwe batting coach.
Local boy. Went to school here in Bulawayo, Falcon College. It's a good delivery. And spent a lot of his time playing for Matabeleland. And then he went and he was coaching in New Zealand for 12 years. So he'll certainly have some knowledge about these New Zealand players who he would have coached in previous years. As a provincial coach. Had a stint in the UK as the batting coach, consultant for New Zealand men's team, so certainly something that he will add to the change room. 10 overs gone, 28 for 2.
It's been seam all through the first 45 minutes of the day's play. Matt Henry will continue now, coming round the wicket. Still got those three slips and a gully, and they know exactly that angle into the left-hander, just around his rib cage. That's where they're trying to tuck him up. And he's moving away and trying to still play it on the offside. This time he just uses his wrists to work it around.
Let's take a look at how Ben Karen got out there. Now, when he's on song and maybe has been in form and playing, he hits that ball beautifully down the ground. But this occasion, feet stuck on the crease because of the previous barrage of short bowling. The other thing that I think New Zealand have done quite well is the fields they've employed to the batters. Bowl. So this is your box standard 3 slips gully, backward point and a cover. Then your mid-on, who's actually quite tight in and a square leg. But you've seen earlier somebody on the helmet catching mid-wicket who's a little bit straighter and further back. So always something for the batters to think about. And that clogs your mind sometimes, and you get concerned about that fielder. Why is he there? And you get the bouncer, and then you get the full Yorker. Not letting the batter settle at the crease early on.
Yeah, they must have studied and dissected how the Zimbabwe batters played against South Africa and their bowling attack on the same ground, on the same square. And also, of course, would have studied the mode of dismissals on particular batters. And then according to their own bowling strength, they're trying to exploit those things. Welsh, we've seen, has been not committing too much in terms of that front foot. He's been stuck there and letting some go over the stumps. That's well played. It's found the gap, but will be caught up by the fielder. This is a very good fielding unit, we know that. And you talk about how they've created that web around the batters, and according to their strengths and weaknesses, they've placed those fielders. You got to make sure that nothing goes, because even half a chance, these guys don't let that slip. Yeah, that slight movement away and the reluctance to come forward and cover the line. Shout is good. Maybe some bat. Henry thought he's got his man. We'll have a second look. At the moment, it's 31 for 2.
Last ball of the previous over. The only thing could have been the ball going over the top of the stumps. Other than that, pretty adjacent.
Yeah, no wonder Matt Henry's eyes were glued to that big screen, was waiting for that replay. He wanted to know, what did he do wrong? Not to get the umpire's nod. Umpire asked if Yaqub from Pakistan has got his first outing. He's on the back foot. Hit him around the knee roll, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, might have been mighty close. Oh, that has done him. Every time that angle coming into the left hander and Williams moving away, trying to work it on the offside, has not worked for him this time. He's just exposed his stumps for the ball to go and crash into it.
Now, he's been dismissed in a similar fashion in Test cricket before, Sean Williams. So he goes leg side to try and give himself room to play the ball. Look at that back foot. And because he's not in line, he gets the bottom edge, bat slightly angled. And it ricochets onto the stumps. So Zimbabwe lose their third. Sean Williams gone for 2. 31 for 3. The captain, Craig Irvin, walks out to the middle. Runs in his last innings here at Queen's Sports Club.